The similarity was almost 1-to-1.
You don't even go to the house. Hey, bro. Hey. I'm not Mexican. I'm Salvador. You tripping.
Oh my God.
Not you tripping.
I really thought the whole David mess was finally over. But just when things started to cool down, boom, his name's back in headlines after a suspect finally got revealed. You'd think he'd stay low-key, but nah, David just had to stir the pot again. Out of nowhere, he drops a brand new track on BandLab, and before fans could even get halfway through it, poof, it's gone, private, deleted, like it was never there. At first, everyone brushed it off, thinking it was just another scrap demo. But then, the internet detectives did what they do best. They started digging. And that's when it got creepy.
Yesterday, thousands of people got a BandLab notification that David released a new song titled Rush, but minutes later, it vanished. The song was apparently created on October 2nd, and some people think it was released on accident, and others think it was on purpose.
Not in Rush, but in another song called I Never Needed You. Listeners picked up something haunting in the background. A faint female voice that sounds exactly like Celeste. Not a remix, not some random sample. Her actual voice. At least that's what people are saying after comparing it side by side with her viral clip from before she disappeared. How twisted is that? It's honestly chilling. We're talking about someone whose passing is still wrapped in mystery. No closure, no real explanation, and now this guy's allegedly sampling her voice like it's just another sound effect. That's not art, that's disrespect. Fans went wild once they caught on, and the deeper they looked, the darker it got. People started bringing up that strange Build-A-Bear certificate tied to her cousin's name, found inside David's old house.
This photo that everyone has been posting lately, it was taken on May the 30th, 2024. Miss Rivas had attended her cousin Esmeralda's high school graduation. In September, she was seen on video fighting with the neighbors at the Lake Elsinore home. So why didn't any family member notify law enforcement that she was safe? Possibly because they were worried it would trigger a CPS investigation.
There's even talk of an opioid overdose cover-up. Something that could explain how she ended up lifeless in that Tesla. And if that's not disturbing enough, investigators confirmed that farm tools were found in that same Hollywood Hills home. Tools that made 0 sense being there. Like seriously, what kind of artist keeps that stuff around? Something's definitely off, and the internet's not letting this one slide. This whole thing has gone way past a deleted track. It's not just about some song anymore. It's about the voice, the clues, the house, and a timeline that's starting to look way too suspicious to ignore. Every new detail makes it feel like this isn't coincidence. It's calculated. And since we're on the topic, let's break down that missing track, Rush, the one that mysteriously vanished right after fans started putting all the puzzle pieces together. Because once people actually read those lyrics, everything changed. He sings, "I thought we were taking it slow, but you don't want to wait on me."
My gut tells me, I have no inside information on this at all, but my gut tells me the way things are lining up right now, I'm feeling this is probably going to be something like an accidental overdose. And they just made a horrible decision after the fact because they didn't want the relationship to be, to get out there because it would hurt, definitely hurt his, career, if not him be criminally charged.
I just need you to know there's so many things I need now. The moment fans heard that, jaws dropped. That doesn't sound like a typical love song. It sounds like he's defending himself, like he's trying to explain why he pulled away from someone who wanted more from him, almost as if he's talking straight to her. That's not music. That's a confession hiding behind a melody. Then the next part hits even harder. Say you love me, then you say goodbye. Had a feeling you would leave my side. I still think about you day and night. That line screams guilt. You can hear it in his tone, the hesitation, the strain, like he's wrestling with something heavy. And what really gives it away is how he keeps repeating, "Don't want to waste your time," again and again. It doesn't sound like he's trying to convince the listener. It sounds like he's trying to convince himself, like he's rewriting history through lyrics, polishing something ugly to make it sound poetic. And here's the thing, if he didn't want people dissecting it, why post it on BandLab of all places? You could have dropped it on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. But no, He chose a low-key upload like he wanted to test the waters first. That's what makes it even shadier. It's like he wanted the reaction without facing the responsibility.
Just yesterday, thousands of people got a BandLab notification that David released a new song titled Rush, but minutes later, it vanished.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer. It's controversial of kids. Bye, guys.
Tell you that we did find opiate prescription medication bottles in the house. Now,
Fans aren't stupid. They see right through the Creative Expression Act. Something about this feels like he's not just making music anymore. He's talking to ghosts. When you really stop and look at the timing of everything, it's straight up unsettling. Her body was just found, the investigation is still active, and instead of staying quiet out of respect, David is out here poking the fire like nothing happened. It's like he either doesn't care or he's daring people to call him out. But just when everyone thought the Rush situation was already bad enough, it got a whole lot darker. Because buried deep inside another track, I Never Needed You, listeners picked up something bone-chilling. A faint female voice in the background, and not just any voice. It sounds almost identical to Celeste's. You can literally hear it. The tone, the breath between the words, that exact cadence she always had. It's way too precise to be some random coincidence. And before anyone tries to say, oh, maybe it's just a random sample, people actually checked. Fans started running comparisons, like actual amateur forensic-style breakdowns. Someone even ran a voice analysis using clips from her old live streams and that one viral Ring camera video, the same one where she was arguing with her neighbor. When they matched that with the song's audio, the similarity was almost identical. We're talking one-to-one level matching. It's eerie. In that track, you can clearly hear a woman saying, "You are the one calling my phone. Your number is blocked. You keep calling me, texting me." Hearing that in the middle of a professional song, that's not creative sampling. That's chilling. How does that kind of audio even end up layered into a polished mix? That's not edgy. It's flat out disrespectful to a woman who can't even speak for herself anymore. And the part that sends chills down everyone's spine, David never said anything. No statement, no explanation, no acknowledgement that the voice was used. He just went completely silent, like he always does whenever Celeste's name comes up. At this point, it doesn't feel like art anymore. It feels like obsession, like he's trying to keep her voice alive in his music, but not in a way that honors her legacy, in a way that twists it, keeps her trapped in his story. It's haunting and heartless all at once. It's like he's flipping the whole story upside down, trying to make it sound like she was the one chasing him. If that's really what he's doing, that's manipulation at its slickest. Twisting a tragedy into some self-pity anthem, that's cold. And while fans were still trying to wrap their heads around the whole Celeste's voice and his music nightmare, things took an even wilder turn. Because a private investigator just came forward with new info that sounds straight out of a movie. The investigator's name? Steve Fisher. Yeah, that same guy who's been quietly feeding bits and pieces of insider info since day one. He's not just some random online detective either. He's the one directly working with the owner of that Hollywood Hills property where David was living. And according to Fisher, what he found inside that house could completely flip how everyone sees this entire situation. He even posted photos on X, yeah, that's Twitter now, and what he shared sent everyone spiraling. It was a Build-A-Bear certificate found tucked away inside the property. The name on it? Esmeralda. The date? April 21st, 2024. And that's where things got weird. Because if you've been following this case, you know Celeste had a cousin named Esmeralda, the same one who helped organize her GoFundMe and appeared in those graduation photos right beside her. That connection hit like a lightning bolt. But it gets even more chilling when you realize the timing. April 21st was 2 weeks after Celeste was officially reported missing from Lake Elsinore. So if that bear was made that very same day, and the certificate somehow ended up inside David's rental home, that's a giant red flag waving in everyone's face. What was that certificate doing there? How did it get inside? Was someone sending a message? Or hiding something? The internet went wild dissecting every angle. People are now wondering if the bear ties directly to Celeste's disappearance, or if it's some strange coincidence that just happens to sit right at the center of this dark puzzle. Either way, it's beyond bizarre, and it's making David's silence look a whole lot louder. So get this. Fisher pointed out something that blew the whole case wide open. He discovered that David posted a TikTok on April 21st, the exact same day as that Build-A-Bear certificate. In the clip, he's all smiles riding a roller coaster at Six Flags. Yeah, the same Six Flags that just happens to have a Build-A-Bear store inside. Now everyone's connecting the dots like crazy. Did he go there with Celeste that day? The same day she was already listed as missing. Because if that's true, we're not just talking about a shady secret relationship anymore. This could be a full-on timeline cover-up. That's when the internet flipped. People started turning on everyone, not just David, but even parts of Celeste's own family. Because at this point, it feels like no one is telling the full truth. Everyone's got holes in their stories, and instead of protecting her, it seems like they're all protecting themselves. The silence is deafening, and every unanswered question just makes the whole situation darker. Even after all these insane revelations, the Build-A-Bear clue, the graduation photos, the suspicious dates, David still hasn't been officially named a suspect. The police haven't called it a homicide either. They keep repeating the same vague line, autopsy results deferred, which basically sounds like code for, we have no idea what's going on yet. But come on, how much more deferred can it get? Meanwhile, those who've seen what investigators actually found inside that house can't stop talking about how disturbing it all was. We're talking about farm tools. Yeah, farm tools. Sitting inside a luxury Hollywood Hills rental. What even is that? It makes no sense unless something way darker was being planned. And honestly, I don't even want to picture what those tools were meant for, but deep down, you already know what everyone's thinking. And it doesn't stop there. Investigators also found prescription bottles, the kind linked to opioids, maybe legal, maybe not. That's when one chilling theory started gaining traction. Maybe this wasn't a cold-blooded setup, but an overdose that spiraled out of control. Maybe panic kicked in, and instead of calling for help, people made the worst decision imaginable, trying to cover it up. That would explain everything. The Tesla, the silence, the confusion. If that theory's even half true, then multiple people knew exactly what happened. They knew enough to move a body, destroy evidence, and build a fake story around it. And still, not a single one of them has come forward to tell the truth. It's like the whole thing's been wrapped in silence, while Celeste's story fades into mystery. It's like every single time the truth starts creeping up to the surface, it vanishes again, just like his songs do. He posts, deletes, hides, and then acts like nothing ever happened, and somehow the world just moves on, like that girl never even existed. It's heartbreaking, honestly. Celeste lost her life way too soon, and now her story's getting buried under silence and confusion. She deserves peace. But how can she rest when her name's still tangled in unanswered questions? Every day that passes without a suspect, without a clear explanation, just makes this whole thing more painful. I'm not here to throw accusations without proof, but let's be real. There are way too many missing pieces for anyone to just shrug this off. Because if the rumors are true, and Esmeralda really was at Six Flags with Celeste that same day she was marked as missing, then she's sitting on something huge. That means she knows way more than anyone else ever will. And yet, silence. No statement. No interview. No closure. It's like everyone connected to this case built a wall around the truth. Something about this whole story still feels unfinished. You can't build a career off someone's stolen voice, walk away from an end like that, and just expect the internet to move on. The questions aren't disappearing. They're multiplying. Every new coincidence just adds more weight to the guilt that's been hovering over this entire story since day one. Whatever really went down that night, whether it was panic, a cover-up, or something even darker, it's still out there. Sitting in silence, waiting for someone with enough courage to finally break it wide open. So what do you think really happened? Do you believe the theories, or is there something we're all missing here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.